Why is safety connected to Muslim? Explain that to me.
I'm talking about the terrorist attacks committed by radical Islamists. I couldn't hear very strong words from imams who would condemn this kind of attacks. That's number one. Rapes in Sweden, hidden for 13 months. I'm talking about the youth festival where girls were raped by illegal Muslim migration immigrants.
This Polish minister did not hold back. Take a look.
Well, to answer that, we're joined by Polish MP Dominik Tarczyński from the ruling Law and Justice Party. He's also the Vice President of the European Conservatives Group in the Council of Europe. Dominik, is that it? 2 million Ukrainians are okay, but not one Muslim, because that's just how you guys feel about it.
Good evening, Imran. Thank you for having me. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with Islamophobia. It's all about safety. As I said previously, everyone is allowed to apply. Everyone is allowed to submit the documents, ask for a permission, ask for a visa, and then our interior minister will decide if he's needed for our society. The difference between immigration and refugees as a legal difference. You are mixing words. It's very important because the difference is quite big. First of all, refugee is the person who flees to the first safe country by the international law. Immigrant, especially illegal immigrant, is not welcome in Poland. This is what we promised, and these words will be kept. Basically, we are not talking about people who are in need. We are not talking about Muslims. We are talking about a law, international law and Polish law. We don't want any illegal migration in Poland. This is what we promised. This is why our government was elected, and not even one Muslim illegal migrant will come to Poland, ever.
What do you mean by safety? Why is safety connected to Muslim? Explain that to me.
First of all, that's very clear, very simple. In Germany, over 200,000 of so-called refugees just vanished, disappeared. Nobody knows who are they, where are they, and what are they going to do. Nobody knows. 200,000 people. Can you imagine how many people is that? It's just crazy. So this quota system, which was offered by Germany, failed, as we know. And this is against our safety in Europe. This is very huge issue. First of all, I'm talking about the terrorist attacks committed by radical Islamists. I couldn't hear very strong words from imams who would condemn this kind of attacks. That's number one. Rapes in Sweden, hidden for 13 months. I'm talking about the youth festival where girls were raped by illegal Muslim migration immigrants.
And you're saying it has nothing to do with Muslims,
hidden.
but then you're saying
Germany,
Muslims are terrorists and Muslims
where people
are rapists.
were raped as well, right? And that was hidden.
Right. Okay, but again, you're saying it has nothing to do with Muslims, but
of
Muslims are rapists and terrorists.
But these cases,
right.
It's true.
Okay.
It's true, but these cases are committed by illegal Muslim migration, okay, which was proven by the police in Sweden, in Germany, in France, in many other countries.
Okay, so Dominik, let me take your logic then. And if I have to look at the biggest terrorist attack that has captured the international imagination in recent times, the Christchurch mosque attack, or mosque attacks, right? Carried out by someone calling himself a Christian, right?
And the difference, I think the difference between us, all the Western world condemned this attack.
Okay, so certainly. So is there then a safety problem with Christian migrants, such as the Ukrainians, because of that mosque attack?
No. First of all, the man in Christchurch was not a migrant. I think he should spend his whole life in jail. Mm-hmm. And as I said, the whole world, Western world, condemned that. I couldn't hear condemnation from the Saudi Arabia or other Sharia law states after many terrorist attacks in Sweden, where we have Malmö and other places where police is afraid to get in. So I'm talking about the scale and the reaction. The scale is completely different. And the reaction from our side, as Christians and as a Western civilization, compare it with the Saudis, with Iran, where people are hanged for their homosexuality,
you're talking about Saudi and you're talking about
different
Iran
religion.
And all these
it's
places,
completely different. Okay. This war of civilization, as I call it, is just a fact. Okay. I'm not going to. I'm not going
those
to
are the
Iraq.
words
I'm
also
not going
of the
to
shooter in
Saudi
Christchurch.
Arabia. I'm not going to Iran.
The shooter in Christchurch in his manifesto said he's fighting this war of civilization as well. Against Muslims that he can't name that are all against him.
I know. Okay, but how many terror attacks were committed by Christians in the name of the religion? How many were them were shouting, Christ is the Lord? Okay. None. Zero. And every single committed by the Muslim is followed by Allah Akbar.
Yes,
that's the fact.
Okay,
and the difference between criminals,
it's the association you're making with,
is that they are not committing it in the name of the faith.
Dominic, it's been really great getting into the mind of the current Polish government, and good to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us.
As you can see in this video, they tried to label him a racist, they tried to label him as an Islamophobe, and he doesn't let them. And he's very clear about why he's doing what he's doing, and that is a culture of jihadism, a culture that embraces terrorism, that tells people that commit terrorist acts that they've 100% fulfilled their obligation to Allah, to God, that it is, godly and divine what they are doing by killing innocent people. Now that is sick, and it needs to get called out, and it needs to be separated. Those people that are actually jihadists, that actually have Islamist ideology, need to be separated from regular, everyday Muslims. Now the problem is there happens to be this very, weird kind of a mafia where the Muslim world is kind of trapped by their own extremists, where they have to sort of, never condemn the extreme forms of Islam because they feel that it's, they're going to be called out, or, there's this weird consensus where the extremists are rising to power in every facet of Muslim society. So, the imams that preach the hardest, the people that, say that, for instance, the West is evil, etc., they are promoted, whilst the peaceful Muslims are often sort of downvoted by the fact that they're not virulent enough in their hatred of Israel, America, etc. And so it is completely justified to look at that and say, we can't separate them. And so therefore we have to have some sort of stoppage of this immigration to our country. And I would be remiss to not mention the horrific attack on the DC National Guardsman, in which one, if not two, I believe he's fighting for his life still, were murdered in cold blood by this Afghani Islamist, somebody who screamed Allahu Akbar prior to committing this horrific act of terrorism. And you see it all over Europe. Every single day you hear another story about something that happened. And it shows that you truly pay for the so-called empathy, the suicidal empathy, as God's puts it, that you show to societies that clearly, people with ideologies that clearly hate your society. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. If you believe in what we do here over at Jewish Uncensored, consider supporting us in a few different ways. You can support us monetarily by going to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. You can also go to our new merchandise store, IsraelUncensored.com, where we just dropped a bunch of new merch. Additionally, to gain access to exclusive content, you can go to our memberships tab on this channel and join there. And finally, you can share this video with both family and friends in order to share this message with the world. Thank you so much for your support.